Okay, here we go. Three different ways to teach reading. Now, before we get into these three ways, these are not the only three ways. These are not the indefinite or definitive three ways. These are just suggestions for three ways to get started from scratch. Okay, so just like before, we're going to get right into the three different ways. First, start with sounding and blending. Second, move to 2 to 3 letter words. Third, add letters onto those 2 to 3 letter words. And there it is. That is how you can get started with teaching your child how to read. Now, let's keep in mind that before we even start with sounding and blending, the child needs to know their letter sounds, not just the names, they need to know the sounds as well. Okay, so once they know the sounds, we're ready to start sounding and blending. Then we can move on to the other steps. So if that's all you needed, you can go ahead and log right off of this video. Thank you so much for watching, but if you would like some more detail, we're going to get right into that right now. Children are ready to read once they know all of the letter sounds. To read, we blend or we put the letter sounds together to read the words. Some ways to encourage your child to do this are to speak in blends or listen to audiobooks or read aloud so that they can listen to how the words sound and the language sounds. Also, we can search blending songs on YouTube. There are plenty of options that will populate if your child is more musical and into, things with nice beats and being able to move around while they learn. That's a perfect option for them. If you need any specific help in this, meaning you need some more strategies, you need some more tools, you need to know maybe there's a specific letter or a specific sound that your child is having trouble with pronouncing, you can leave a message down below. Somebody in our community would be happy to help you out. You can follow our Facebook group as well or join our Facebook group. We're available to you on a lot of different platforms, okay? Okay, so we're moving on to 2 letter words. Here are some examples of the 2 letter words that would be perfect to start with. So, like we said before, it, am, at. Why are those the three that are perfect to start with? Because it would be easy to sound them out, especially since your child is coming from saying the letter sounds. Since they've mastered already saying the sounds, it'd be super easy to just blend those sounds together. The letters make the regular short vowel sounds that they learned when they were learning their letters. So in it, you have a it. Those are the sounds that they learned. Am, at, at. So this is going to be very easy for them to blend those sounds together once they've learned those sounds individually. Okay. And then words like we, go, to, although those are words that are 2 letter words, they should be taught separately as special or sight words. Why? Because again, they are 2 letter words, but they do not follow the regular short vowel sounds. The W in we is making the regular sound, but that E is making a long sound. It's not making the eh. We don't say w eh. And a lot of times when kids are practicing and they know the letter sounds and they're blending, first starting to blend, when they see that word we, they're going to say w eh. And it's not going to be correct and it's going to be confusing to them. So we want to, again, whatever words, whether they are 2 or 3 letters, it's not just enough that they're 2 or 3 letters. They also need to follow the regular vowel sounds. The regular sounds, every letter in the word has to make the regular sound to kind of build up your child's confidence, okay? So, other words like I and a can be taught in the special side as well because they're not going to say and they're not going to say ah to read those words. They're going to say the names, so we teach them separately. Um, when teaching words that don't follow the normal rule, it is important to make this clear to the student so that they aren't confused when they see a letter making a different sound than the one that they learned. That's going to be the most frustrating thing to them. They're going to feel so happy. I learned all of the letter sounds, and then they're going to try to blend it all together and, try to accomplish something, and they're going to get shot down because that letter is not, you're going to come back and tell them, no, it says this. And they're going to be like, what? But I thought it meant that. So just make it very clear to them, yes, the sound that you learned is correct. And in most cases, that's what we're going to use. But in this word, it's special. It does not follow the rules. However, you want to explain it to them, right? So the next thing we want to talk about is, I actually give you word for word verbatim in the article. So I'm going to go ahead and read that. Today we're going to learn the other sounds that letters can make. This will feel tricky, but we will keep practicing until you get it. Something like that you can say to them just to make them aware that what they learned before is not wrong. They shouldn't forget it. It's just that some words are tricky. Okay. The popular terms for three-letter words is CVC, or consonant vowel consonant words. So that's the words that you're going to have, like your bat and your cat and sat and hat and bet and sit, all those kinds of things, right? These are your basic words. The best practice is to learn them in families of the same vowel types. So an example word list would be like, let's say you're working on the vowel E. An example word list would be ben, men, pen, hen, zen, ren, yen, den, ken. The popular terms for three-letter words is CVC, or consonant vowel consonant words. So that's the words that you're going to have, like your bat and your cat and sat and hat and bet and sit, all those kinds of things, right? These are your basic words. The best practice is to learn them in families of the same vowel types. So, an example word list would be like, let's say you're working on the vowel E. An example word list would be ben, men, pen, hen, zen, ren, yen, den, ken, and ten. You see how all of those words have that same eh sound in the middle? Um, and that n, all of them have that same, they have that same vowel. They also have that same n rhyming pattern. So this might be a good time to start talking about rhyming patterns, how words sound the same. It's actually best practice to draw their attention to that, how the words sound, how some words sound the same and some sound different. It builds what's called phonemic awareness, which will also help them to decode words easier, especially when we start getting into the more complex words that have, our blends and our digraphs and things like that. So the final step is going to be, once the students are comfortable sounding and blending those CVC words, those, same vowel pattern rhyming words, little basic three-letter words, um, it's going to be helpful at that point to start adding in one to two, maybe three at the most letters onto those words that you already learned. So let's go back to that same word list that I gave you guys, that ben, men, pen, hen, zen, etc. We can add L and D to Ben to make blend. And see, that's a word that has a lot more letters, has now five letters, but it's still very easy for the children to blend it together. Blend, blend. It makes all of the sounds that they're familiar with. And it's a bigger word, so they're going to start feeling a little bit more confident with their ability to read it. Men's with an apostrophe, pens, hens, wren, dent, dents, tent, kens, bends. So this is giving us an opportunity to teach possessive nouns, like with that apostrophe s. Just teach them, when you uh, when you see that apostrophe, it just means that something belongs to that person or that thing. And when we read it, we just pretend that it's not there and just say the letter sounds. So it shouldn't be a big deal teaching them that. It should be very seamless because they know they don't need to read the apostrophe, right? So they just need to read the m, e, nz, the men's room. And then we might get into teaching them that sentence later on, right? And then you also have the opportunity here to teach them the S, the plural form of words. And then so we have a pen and we have pens. We're working together, like one pen, more than one pen. Pen is pens. I have two pens. I have one pen. Same with hens, same with dents. So anytime we add an S onto a word, we are saying that there's more than one of that word. Okay. And then once you taught word lists for each of the vowels and added letters, it's time to start teaching special cases, like your digraphs, which are like PH, CH, SH, TH. And then blends, which we kind of dabbled in here, BL, CL, list goes on. You can look up consonant blends, and that'll help you get a nice list of uh, blends that you might want to practice with your students or your child. Um, R controlled vowels, that is when a vowel works with an R, so like AR, ER, IR, and letting them know that when those two letters are together, they make a new sound. So once we get them used to blending the regular way, then that's when we start introducing more complex words that don't follow those normal um, sounding vowel patterns, right? And then we can talk about vowel teams and etc. And that's how we kind of build upon the child's knowledge and vocabulary. If you need any additional pointers, you can comment down below. You can join our Facebook group, email, social media, however you want to get in touch. And until next time, guys, be well.